Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Starfield breakdown of the Starfield Direct, going in depth into little things. There's multiple videos on my channel right now of like UI and character customization. Today we're looking at weapons and all the little details that are in the Direct that I missed and maybe you missed too. But before I get into it, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, because I'll be hitting this game hard when it comes out and you want to be at my channel getting all the information. And I'm also giving away Starfield, which is linked in the comment section and in the video description. It's a 3-minute video. Go watch it after this and try and win some Starfield. So weapons for me are super interesting. We've got like very suitable weapons for a space game, right? That's the best way I can put it. They don't look fantastical like something like Destiny or like some over-the-top designs that you see like in Overwatch or like Fortnite, which obviously makes sense because they're different games. But it's nice to have a solid looking regular type of gun which fits the scenario of like a space game, and I think they do really well. Look at this design on the advanced Grendel, which is a rifle. I'm assuming it's like an SMG. I don't know why it's called rifle up here. Maybe this is just like an early build, but it just looks compact. It looks like it should be a run and gun, like a P90 from Call of Duty. It looks like one of those types of weapons, but modified to be a space weapon. All these like extra little details, the little gaps in between everything, I just love. This is a well designed weapon. Even like the barrel just looks awesome. It just looks like a cool weapon that anyone would want to hold, and I think they do a really good job with the modeling of the weapons we have seen so far anyway. But let's talk about what's up here in this top right hand corner. There's a lot of information for every weapon. First and foremost, the damage type. Now this is just a physical damage weapon, so I'm assuming it just means it fires bullets and does damage. Then there's going to be other things like laser weapons, which will have a different icon up here and a different stats. But I'm also thinking that there's probably going to be things like, for instance, like fire rounds or incendiary rounds, lightning rounds. I don't know if it gets that crazy, but there's going to be things up here where this will change, but there might even be where things are added, so there's going to be extra things to look at too. But we have the ammo type and the magazine size, and I think the magazine size may also be able to change with mods, but it's also like comparative to the weapon you're equipped to. So obviously the magazine on the weapon they're holding isn't 50 in the mag. It shows you how many rounds you can hold in general, the fire rate of the weapon, how far you can hit from, though I will say that most of these weapons look like they can be fired from a very long range and still be accurate. Accuracy 66.2%. the mass of the weapon, because the mass in the bottom left here is how much you can hold before you become over encumbered. I'm hoping to God that it's not just as soon as you hit max mass you just stop and can't move. I hope that as you get higher in the mass and you get closer to that maximum mass, you start to slow down or maybe not be able to jump as high, because I think that would be cool. And everything else being so realistic to what the game wants to be, I feel like that'd be a better way to handle the mass. So you're gonna have to really think about what you're holding in your inventory. As you can see, there's a lot of weapons here and a lot of different things with food and spacesuits, which all add to mass. So it's going to be a real inventory kind of management to make sure you don't just get stuck out somewhere. The value of it, if you wanted to sell it, I don't know how much credits are worth in this game yet, but they've got 16,000 down in the bottom left, and this is worth 2,000. So it feels like maybe weapons might cost a bit too much, but who knows? We don't know how much things in this game cost. And then the mods. So each weapon has mod slots. This one has 8 mods, but they don't have any installed on it. And you can get things like precision sights and stuff, I believe, which I think we'll see on another thing in a minute. But the whole layout of this is incredible. You can just see everything you need to see and make decisions on what you want to do, because weapons will affect various things. Like when you're in a low gravity area, a weapon like this with physical damage, normal bullets, when you fire you'll be propelled backwards due to the gravity, whereas something like a laser weapon will keep you in place because it doesn't have that recoil of throwing you backwards through low grav. Again, this weapon looks incredible in my opinion. It's called the Clutter, and it just looks like what a laser weapon should look like. For some reason I'm thinking of like the Cabal in Destiny, so that type of weapon. But I love the way this looks. I think it's so goddamn cool. And obviously up here we have energy instead of physical now. I'm guessing it's only 4 damage because it's a constant beam, so it's going to do 4 damage really quickly. Doesn't have a magazine size. It probably has like a heat up mechanic where if you hold it for too long it's going to stop firing. Fire rate's pretty high. The range is low, but again, range seems really strange in this game from what I've seen in clips. Accuracy is really good. The mass is a bit heavier because obviously it's a bit of a heavier gun, but the value is really low, so I'm assuming this is like a crap version of a laser weapon. Interestingly, you can't put any mods on this weapon. I don't know whether that's the same for all laser weapons or just this really obviously low level weapon, but honestly I just love the idea of it. Then we have the Magshare, which looks kind of like an auto rifle or something, but then we got this like little barrel here that makes it look like it's going to be a laser too. God knows what it looks like, or it's going to fire out 70,000 bullets at once. Physical damage, you got different type of ammo. Magazine size is 75, fire rate, range. So you can see that weapons change massively with every type of weapon you use, and I think that's really cool because I think there's going to be a lot of decisions where like maybe you can't beat a specific enemy in one go, and then you think, oh, what weapons could I use, what could I change? Whereas in a lot of games that's not necessary anymore. You just find a really good weapon and you just use it all the time. So I'm very excited to see how weapons are going to like really be involved in your game. Now we have some mods here, some cool mods. Again, we got a new weapon type, pistol, modified calibrated razorback, 109 physical damage. This is very much a magnum of sorts. You've got 6 in the mag, fire rate 12, so it's going to be like a precision pistol shooting weapon. Range is really good, accuracy is really good. And the mods over here, I'm assuming will change how the weapon fires as well, because we've got a recon scope, which is up here on the top, which you can zoom in with. So I'm thinking maybe if you could put a suppressor on this could be a really good engagement weapon when you're playing stealth, and a compensator as well to obviously change how the gun works and make it better in certain ways. I'm really interested to see how many mods exist in this game and how they interact with different weapons. Then we have another rifle type, and it's called the modified calibrated Tombstone, and this also has mods on, but we've got ammo, magazine, all that stuff there, you can see it. Long barrel, iron sights, large magazine, so you can improve how much bullets you have in the mag. Iron sights, it's going to be preferable to some people. I prefer a sight, but having no sight I guess is interesting, and a long barrel which would increase the range, I'm guessing, as well. So just a lot here. And I just think this game is incredible, and the designs of stuff, so we can see over here what kind of weapons there are in this game through these perks. These perks are for a proficiency in those weapon types. There's a lot here. I'm not entirely sure what all of them are, but we've obviously got pistols, we've got shotguns, we've got like, I don't know, like a rapid fire rifle, like AKs, auto rifle type things. This to me looks like either a grenade launcher or a laser weapon potentially, or this could be the laser weapon one. Then we've got magnum type weapons here, so heavy pistols, sniper rifles and rifles. And interestingly enough, over here we have an arrow symbol. So is there going to be some sort of like bow and arrow aspect to the game, because that would be very cool with stealth. We haven't seen anything like this in any of the clips so far, at least I haven't. So this could go very well with a melee build as well. If you're being a sneaky little melee boy but you need to engage from a little bit of range, you could use a bow and arrow instead of making yourself go loud by shooting. It's just, there's just so much, there's so much to look at and so much to do. It's just phenomenal. I assume that this here is where you modify your weapons. This is like the modification crafting menu, or maybe you need to be at like a bench or something. But it shows you obviously here what's going to change when you got your mod slots going on. So you got like a receiver to change it from single fire to fully to semi, an internal, don't know what this means, but you can have mods there. Change your sights, change your magazine size, and change your muzzle. And maybe there's going to be a few more, because obviously you can scroll down here. You've obviously also only got a certain amount of mods you can equip, but this is like where everything's going to show. You're going to put your mods in this section once you've selected them and then install them. It doesn't look like there's any kind of price on doing this, so that's pretty cool. Maybe you need the items first, so you have to go out and collect a drum magazine or buy a drum magazine from somewhere, and then you can just install it without any cost, which I think that's cool, because a lot of things do it in a lazy way where it's just like, oh, come here and you can just modify this and just spend a certain amount of materials or money. This looks like you're gonna have to really think about what you want for your weapons. You can see here that as you go through, it highlights what your thing is, and then we've got rounds over here. So installing explosive rounds, you need these materials, but again, it doesn't look like you need any kind of money or anything. Now the actual combat looks pretty cool in my opinion. This is going to go through a lot of different things, but I'm just saying right now, The guns look like they have recoil and, you know, realistic aspects to how they fire, but it also looks really, I can't explain it, like easy, I guess, to play with guns, like doing a jump in the air with a shotgun shot from a certain amount of range, but it still reaches the person. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be detrimental at all. It just looks like it's going to have solid, smooth gunplay. As you can see, all these different weapons here coming through. This one looks cool. Look at this goddamn shotgun. This is obviously like the Westernized Town, one of their shotguns. And just everything about this game and how all these weapons look and what they look like, how they would feel, it just looks like it's going to be an exceptional game for gunplay and combat. Obviously, right here we have a thermal attachment on this weapon. Let's just go back a little bit, because you can see the outline of the person, and like it just keeps you in stealth mode as well, because I'm guessing it has a suppressor on too, so you could just pick people off and then go in and mess around and do stuff. Like, I don't know, man, it's just, there's so much to think about in this game, and if you want to play a certain way, you're gonna have to have your background and traits line up with what you want it to be, and then rank your perks up, and then have specific weapon types, and then put specific mods on those weapons to help in the way you want to play. It really does feel like there's just going to be an extreme amount of like choice and options in how to play this game. And like I said before with the AI, and I want to talk about that, the AI doesn't look that innovative. It doesn't look like it's going to be super difficult, but maybe this is just right now for like the purposes of media and showing off the game. I'm hoping that, you know, these are just like grunts that you see all around, the easier people to kill. And I do want to go back to that. So changing weapons is obviously on the D-pad. And look at all the weapons you can hold at once. So everything in your inventory will be on a keybind of some sort. So if you want to change up and have like all your shotguns on this side, all your pistols on this side, all your melees on that side, I'm assuming you get to choose where they go. And then you could just very quickly switch through your weapons. So if you wanted to get to your melee, you probably just press up twice, or you hold a button and press up twice, and then you just get your weapons. It just looks like it's going to be a smooth way to change up your combat and make it fun and unique. But yeah, as I was saying, I think the AI right now doesn't look that fantastic, which means you're just going to mow through them. So I'm hoping there's more difficult fights in the game. Like, obviously fighting a big T-Rex is going to be probably a little bit more difficult than fighting just random human grunts and stuff. And yeah, that's the one thing I have a real kind of challenge with right now of saying that this game's perfect, is the AI. And like I said, I just hope it's because of media. I hope they just made it look easy for the sake of having like a fantastical trailer that everyone gets engaged with, instead of having like the more difficult boss fights and stuff where people will be like, oh, I don't want to watch this. Like, so it's interesting. It very much is very interesting. And in this gameplay here, you can see that enemies also have shields and health, so they're going to be a little bit harder to kill. Did you see the range on that shotgun, by the way, as well? That's what I was talking about with the range. Like, it just doesn't feel like the range right now has any kind of impact. Even though we're talking about weapons, let's just have a little peek into this legendary item, because it's right there in the footage. This obviously has way more things attached to it, you know, corrosive damage, potential accuracy in airborne. I'm not sure what this 20 means for airborne. But then you got like a physical damage as well as the energy damage and whatever this is. And it's got like mods on. So all of these also equate to how your character works, which essentially is how your weapon works too. So pretty damn cool in my opinion. I'm looking forward to seeing what like legendary weapons will look like. And right here you can see the laser weapons not pushing you backwards. And obviously we saw a little clip where you went flying backwards. The one thing that I'm concerned about as well is in-air accuracy. It just doesn't look like you need to do anything other than jump in the air and fire at people. But, you know, we haven't seen the game yet. We haven't played the game yet. But for the most part, it looks fantastic. And gunplay looks smooth, easy, silky, and just, in general, just looks amazing. And that's about it. Let me know what you think about weapons and stuff down below in the comments section. What kind of weapons do you want to use in this game? Do you want to use the big boy grenade launchers, miniguns, or do you want to just snipe people or run around with a suppressed pistol? I think for me, I'm just going to try everything on my first run, and then maybe when I do a second run, I might specialize in something, because I feel like it's going to be so much choice that I just don't think you'll be able to specifically pick a certain weapon type on your first run, because you got to experience it all, right? But that's all the things that I've seen on weapons and all of that fun, good stuff. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Like I said, like button, comment, giveaways down there too. Go check out the giveaway. I love you all. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.